Good evening. Hopefully you are all with us and we are clear and you can see us and you can hear us. All that bit that I always do every week. Let us know in the comments, can you hear us, can you see us? Because it's always very important. We do double check that. If not, me and Pete are just stood here talking to ourselves, which wouldn't shock me, but it's probably best that we get you here so we can say hello. Now this evening I have got literally, I don't know where I've put it, I was just trying to do this, I've got a whole list of bits I've got to go through with you all. There is so much going on this week, it's bonkers. But before we get into what's going on and of course share with you the new goodies, to which I think we tallied up earlier, there are 25 new goodies, I think, to share with you this evening, but we'll try and count them as we go. Let's say good evening to Peter, who is on hostage cam. Now, you may have heard us as we was going live. I was moaning at Peter because it's been a whole week and he hasn't tidied his shelves behind him.
Well, apparently I'm in trouble. Oh, hello.
What are you running over? What's going on down there?
This I blame Jamie for. That I blame Jamie for. In fact, he obviously gets the blame for everything.
Everything is my fault, is it?
But yeah, that's on me. Sorry.
That's on me. So just block them. Okay. Just look wide. Your mission this evening is to look wide and hide everything behind you.
Go in or close.
Speaking of looking wide and hiding everything behind you, do you remember last week I told you that we'd introduce you to some new goodies? Our little shelf is filled. The shelf is harmoniously, happily filled. We will get to those shortly. But before we do, let's say good evening to a few of you because I can see there's loads of you with us. That is lovely. So good evening, Yvonne. Good evening, Kim. We went to the pub early tonight, so I was back in time. That is lovely to hear. Good evening, Wendy. Good evening, Judy. Evening, Porsche. Tammy. Sunny again, it's jumped and it's moved. Helen, Kathleen, Catherine, Joyce, Sheila, Angela, Sharon, Alison. Honestly, it's lovely to have you all here. Pippa, May, Zoe, June. Goodness me, it's lovely to have you all here. Now, before we get too carried away, because as I say, we've got lots and lots to get through this evening, we need to do the houseworky bits, don't we? We need to do the bits I have to remember to tell you before I forget, because I've got a memory like a sieve. So this evening is sharing with you what we'll be launching on our Highlight Craft shows or liveshopping.vip, depending how you know it as, on Thursday. So Thursday's date, Peter, is the 17th?
17th.
Got the dentist on the 16th. That's the only way I'm remembering this. It's inbuilt fear. So Thursday 17th, we will be live on Highlight Crafts. Now I'm doing the annoying thing and looking to my side so I can tell you the times. It is Thursday at 9 AM. We will have a 2-hour launch with the brand new collection we're about to introduce you to this evening. Then we will be back on at 1 PM where we'll be bringing back the musical collection and sharing with you some inspiration from that one. Now, one thing I will highlight even before we get into today's collection is how well these go together. In actual fact, I think when you look through today's collection, I think you're going to look back on most of this year and go, hang on a minute, there was a plan. This goes together, because it does, and more will come clear. But we're kind of building a bit of a thing. So yeah, so Highlight Craft shows, Thursday, 9 AM 2-hour launch, back in at 1 PM for the musical collection. Now this is going to be exclusively available on Thursday to those who tune into Highlight Crafts or liveshopping.vip. On Saturday, this is exciting. We have the very first Jamie Rodgers Crafts demo day, an in-store demo day at Gilly's Crafts in Ellesmere Port. Even wrote down, I still get it wrong, I apologise. Now, if you're like me and absolutely terrible at geography, I had to ask the little speakery thing, because all I know, and I keep telling people, it's in Liverpool. It's not in Liverpool. It is 14.3 miles down the road from Liverpool. But if you're like me and geography isn't your bag, it's close to Liverpool. If we look at a little map, it's not far, 14 miles down the road. So Gwen will be in store from 10 till 4. Gwen will be bringing with her the brand new collection and the musical collection.
Gwen is watching.
Is she? Good evening, Gwen.
Good evening, Gwen.
Talking of Gwen, if you haven't already seen, Gwen has been very good, but she has shared a little sneaky peek this evening of the musical collection that she'll be demoing in store. So if you wish to have a little sneaky peek, go check out Gwen Fletcher Crafts and you'll be able to see one of the projects that she's going to be working on on the day to give you a little bit of a sneaky. She will be sharing more sneakies through the next few days to give you a bit more of an idea of what will be demoed in store on Saturday. Now, obviously on Saturday, they will have exclusivity stockist rights as such. I feel we're just inventing terms now, but they will be the only stockist that will have it available for you to buy the brand new collection right the way through to official stockist launch day. I know there's lots I'm bombarding you with, hence the list. Official stockist launch day will be Wednesday the 23rd of April. Now I'm sorry, but Easter has come along and stuck its big foot in the middle of our launches, because normally we would launch on Bank Holiday Monday, but due to deliveries and schedules and the fact it's Bank Holiday and most of our stockists are potentially going to be closed, we thought what we would do is launch on Wednesday. Now this comes with a little bonus for you all as well. If you're not already sick of listening to me waffle on about rubbish, we are going to be with you on Monday night for Monday Night Natter. We will then be back on Wednesday, insert new name because haven't yet thought of it, but for Stockist launch night on Wednesday. So next week we'll be live with you on Monday at 7 and Wednesday at 7. Monday we'll go back in time and have a look for a few of the previous releases. Wednesday we will have our brand new Stockist launch night. So next week, double lives. Should be fun, shouldn't it? So, okay, so we've told you about the demo day. We've told you about the Highlight Craft shows. We have told you about the Stockist launch day. The other thing on my little list, and then I promise we'll start showing you goodies because I know that's what you really want to see. We have something really exciting happening on Wednesday. And I'm really looking forward to this because I love to see how people take our products and what they create with them. Never more than that would be our stockists. Our stockists to me are incredible, and when they get involved and when they start sharing what they're doing and showing us what they can create and what they're going to be doing with it, I really love to see this. And even more so when them stockists are on another continent, because that brings with it a whole new spin, a whole new style. When we're talking about our Canadian crafters, we know they prefer to make smaller cards. So they take everything and put a new spin on it and a new twist on it. And if you're wondering why I'm waffling on about this, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Canadian time, we're going to call it, because that's probably got a better term than Canadian time. And I'm going to look to Pete to tell me what that is.
Is it MST? I can't think what the time is.
To me, that's a cruise line. Is that not a cruise line, MST?
Oh,
don't they do the containers?
We need to bring in, where was I spotted on here?
Well, I'll carry on waffling.
Shirley, who's in Ontario, watching you now in Canada.
Oh, good evening.
She might best help us out.
So what is your time zone called other than Canadian time? Because I'm sure it isn't called Canadian time, and I'm sorry. But at 2 p.m. Canadian time, Charlene will be live on the Paper and Ink Boutique Facebook page. Now, we will link this, we will share it. If you've not already been following them, we will make sure you know where you're to go and when it is and what's going on. But 2 p.m, Charlene will be a special guest on their lives with our products, sharing new inspiration. So just a shout out to watch those guys at the Paper and Ink Boutique, because they're a lovely team, lovely family team, and it's a stockist that I really like to see supported, and I can't wait to see what they do with the product. So yeah, tune in to see that, but we'll share it so you know. So I think that's all of the bit I've got to tell you about. Should we show you some new goodies? 25 new goodies. I know it's a bit bonkers, isn't it? So what we'll do is we'll start off. Should we start off with the little pots of joy? I think I'm pointing, yeah, little pots of joy. Oh, little pots of joy. Little pots of joy it is. So we have got for you 6 brand new pots of joy. Let's take you to a camera so you can see them, because you don't want to watch me. These are much more exciting. Look at these. I love these. Genuine love. I know it's always tricky when you watch a demonstrator or a designer go on about products. We love everything. That's our job, and we wouldn't bring it to you if we didn't love it. But oh my goodness, I would trade in Pete for these.
Wow.
Yep. Pete's on his way out.
Released from hostage cam, I suppose, wouldn't I?
What?
Released from hostage cam.
These are our brand new Jamie Rodgers Crafts Gilding Waxes, and they are in 6 colours. We have got Snow White, very apt with the film that is out at the moment, Cherry Blossom, Gold Bullion. Then we move down to the next line, and we have got Copper Pot, Raindrop, and Silver Star. Now, these are lovely glass jars, so they're going to last you a long time. They've got a great seal to them. They're basically what we normally get jam in, aren't they? Let's be honest. But when we get inside here, we have got absolutely loads of this product in here. And it's been ever so funny. We've been doing our kits and doing our demo boards and bits this week. And my mum said to me, she said, Jamie, how much are these? How much are these going to be? And I said, oh, I don't think they're overly dear. I said, I think they're quite inexpensive. I will look for a post-it to tell me. They're £5.99 to give you an idea. I said to her, I think they're about £6.99, something like that. They are actually £5.99. She said, well, that's not good enough. They need to be about £300 because they're going to last people a lifetime. And they genuinely are. I've been digging in my pots for absolutely ages, made endless samples, and yet they don't even look like they've been touched. These go a very long, long way. When we bring these in, little board time, this is how they look over white and black card. So they've got that beautiful metallic shimmer to them. You can apply them directly with your finger if you wish to, so you can get into all the nooks and crannies. You can bring in your blending tools, you can bring in your daubers, work with all of the above. They're oil-based, so they've got that great waxy feel to them. So when it comes to eking them out, blending them, sharing them sort of across your project, it's going to work for you. Something else that you might not even think about is, I'm going to be honest, we have to start with a certain amount of colours whenever we do a launch. We can't go, here's our gilding waxes and give you 700 colours, because that's not practical. These are my favourite shades, but when I got crafting with them, I was like, I need a green. No fear, mix them. Hook a little bit out, put it on a blending mat, mix them. Not something you might think of doing with a gilding wax. These ones you can, mix them, create new colours, create a way. So that, of course, is the raindrop. Don't hesitate to yell, Pete, if there's any questions, because if not, you know me, I won't shut up for hours. Snow White is, of course, going to give you that pearly white look, but over black card, I don't know about you, I am seeing night sky clouds and snow when we get onto Christmas. So there is our white one. Then we have got our copper pot. So beautiful, beautiful, traditional copper looking colourway. Then we have got our gold bullion. Now this one is quite like the gold bullion, but I kind of like that, because something we can do with these is we can let the first layer dry and go in again and build up. So you can be quite frugal and quite sort of light, but then build to more intense colours. Then we move on to the silver. So our beautiful, beautiful silver. Again, on the black, giving that really nice night sky. On the white, giving that really lovely sort of metal silver kind of look. Sterling silver even. Then when we go on to our cherry blossom pink. Now again, this one's quite light, so cherry blossom, but again, build up if you wish to. It's a beautiful, beautiful soft shade that is going to look very, very delicate. Now, are you all in love with these as much as I am? And I promise I'm going to share bits with you, but Pete's not jumping in with any questions. So let's see. Have we got any questions? Lynn loves these waxes. I love these waxes. They're amazing. Gwen reckons I'm rude for trying to trade you in for the waxes. I'm sorry. But, you know,
he is rude.
What was the advert? Chips or Daddy? We could do waxes or pea. I'm not saying that what would win. I'm just saying, you know, they're very good waxes.
Good waxes. I can see where you're talking.
Will they go on fabric, Fran? Would like to know. I think they'd wash out, to be honest with you, Fran. I mean, it's not something I've tried. It might be a need to try this one, but I think, to be honest, it would just wash out, to be fair. Although oil-based, they're just going to wipe. Clean up, yep, wet wipe, tissue, soap and water, any of the above will get rid of them for you. But shall we, I'm going to do this. I weren't going to do this yet. Shall we bring in something? You've seen the car, haven't you? You know there's a car coming. Shall we bring in the car? Let's bring in the car. Shall we start? Oh, let's go for the copper. So you know this already, I'm sure. You've seen gilding waxes a million times, I'd like to bet. But these are so gloriously waxy. So I'm going to take off the excess. You can put them on your skin if you wish to, and the wax will keep it kind of hot. It's like a wax, so it will melt, but we're just going to go in and start burnishing over the top here. Look at this already coming together and highlighting. And if we just do a small part here, look at that. Isn't that glorious? Now the dies, we're skipping. We're talking ahead a little bit here. These are etched dies, purposely designed to work with these waxes, purposely designed to give you absolutely beautiful detail without any faff, really, because that's what we want, isn't it? Faffless crafting. So how can we make a die even more impressive? By etching it to the nth degree to make it all full of details, so that when you come to colour them, when you come to add waxes to them, when you come to cut them out of your fancy card, they're going to give you the most detail we can possibly put into a die. Now, telling you about a little secret. When we've gone to actually have these produced, we have included so much etched detail on these dies that they're taking 3 days longer to produce because of the amount of etching on them. The technique needed to employ this much etching onto a die to give you this much detail means it takes longer to produce them. So an extra 3 days has been needed to jam pack in all of this detail, so that when we bring in an ink pad, when we bring in a wax, when we bring in our pens, we can just go over the top and highlight to that degree. So these waxes, game-changing fun that I think you're going to see a lot more with in time. Pot size, I think they're 20mm, but I'm going to look just to be sure. They are 20mm, aren't they? Well, I can't see it, but they are 20mm. Oh, 20 grams. 20 grams on the lid. There we go, hidden around the top there. So 20-gram pot. So genuinely an awful lot in there that's going to last a very long time. And those ones will be $5.99. So, should we just get these out the way for a minute, shall we? We'll come back and we'll look at them again later. Now, were they exciting? Did we like them? Are we as in love as I am? Could just be a me thing.
I think they are.
I have a feeling it's going to be an everything thing.
Kim says she'll have me sitting in a craft room if you want to keep the waxes. We might go to the pub after, so, or before.
Can I come?
You can come.
Can I come along? Okay.
With the waxes.
With the waxes. Okay, now I was meant to put these into some sort of order before we started, but I totally forgot. So we're just going to show you all of these in one go. Now this is something that I don't know about you, I need in my life. We are talking little expressional dies. So there are 10 of these. There is Best Dad in the World. Now you're going to see a bit of a dad theme going on. It's going to give you a little hint towards one of the possible ways in which we are looking at our collection shortly. But equally, very important to note, Father's Day is not far away. So we've had Best Dad in the World, Happy Father's Day, and Number One Dad. Next up, this is the one we see on the sneaky of the car earlier, sending you all the love in the world. Then we've got Sorry You're Leaving. Are we seeing a theme yet? Are we seeing an idea? Then we've got Happy Birthday to My Best Friend. Then we've got Thank You for Being You. Then we've got Wishing You the Most Magical Birthday. Then we've got Happy Anniversary to My Perfect Partner. And then to top this little lot off, we have got May Your Days be filled full of magical adventures. May your day be filled full of magical adventures. So these are our brand new expressions collection as such. Now I'm going to be honest with you, we all know of Sue's incredible mini expressions, don't we? I have missed having them in my world and I needed a version of those. And this is the version that we are kicking off with these 10. Now I don't like to tell you or tease you with too much. There will, of course, be more in this family later down the line. I'm not talking tomorrow. I'm not even talking next week. Maybe not even next month. But there will be more down the line. Now, price-wise for these, Number One Dad is the smallest. That one is $3.99 to give you an idea of pricing. Moving on, Happy Anniversary and May Your Day Be Filled, which is going to be that one and that one. These two are $5.99 is the recommended retail price of these. And then all of the other ones, so all of these ones are all $4.99 each. And these again will be released with all of the other bits we're talking about on the Highlight Craft shows on Thursday, of course at Ginny's Crafts on Saturday, and then to all of our stockists as of Wednesday the 23rd. Now I did forget earlier when we was chatting to give a call out to our stockists, didn't I? So if there are some stockists watching and you would like to, if you're already falling in love with this collection and you're going to be adding this one to your sort of stock room, let us know in the comments. Give us a link to where we can find you so that we know that you're going to be having this when it is released on Wednesday the 23rd. We always love to make sure our stockists are with us and it's lovely to hear and see that you're here. So we've done waxes. That was 6 items. We've done our new expressions. That's 10 items. Let's get rid of this little lot. Let's bring in some more goodies. So, oh, this is cute. I haven't shared these with you, have I? Look at the dinky packaging. How adorable are these? I know this is probably me a sad kind of thing to confess, but it's really lovely when packaging comes through just as you wanted it to be, just how cute you need it to be. I know that this means that stockists can fit more on their shelves, and yet you can still see them nice and clearly, and that they're just cute. I like, you know, I was brought up in a world where my mum's always collected dolls' houses and done a lot with dolls' houses, and I've spent my life looking for little miniature things, and I just find miniature things very, very cute and endearing, and these are one of those things, and I just think they're very lovely. So they are your packaging for your mini expressions style expressional collection bit. Then, okay, moving swiftly on. This is different. Next new item for you, and I'm trying to show you all of the bits that are going to come up in the main collection, so that when we get to the main collection you see all of the different bits through the samples. We've gone for triangles. We have bought you just one of these. I know that we normally do our Mats and Layers collection in 5 different edges. Thought that was a little bit heavy for a triangle, so we're going to start with one. If this proves as popular as I hope it does, or think it will, then maybe later down the line we'll do some more fancy edges to go with them. But we are conscious of the amount of nesting dies that we can potentially bring. But equally, with all of this said and done, who doesn't love a triangle? You think of all the constructionary items you can be building with triangles, all of the fun backgrounds. Now, I was talking to Gwen about these the other day, and Gwen was saying how she has absolutely loved making up backgrounds for the first 3 sizes of these. Whether we use them this way, whether we turn them around and treat them as bunting, whether we turn them and make them like we do our pizza dies into bigger patterns, it's all to play for or with, and you've got 17 dies to do that with. So this is the plain isosceles triangles. Now, I will be honest, because I love that you know this is going to be part of a triangular family. There will be more later down the line, so keep an eye out, and we will bring more later in the year. But we are starting off with the isosceles, and this one to me is because it looks like a flag and bunting, and they're going to be important with the rest of our collection. So they're kind of our foundationary items. You've got your 10 expressions, your triangles, and your waxes. Shall we very excitedly let you know what our collection is? The complete collection, complete overarching theme to this release. This is our vintage travel collection. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to work perfectly with the ones we've already done this year. And by those, I mean, let's go back to our mechanical collection, which come out in January. So you might see that car, for instance, and think you want to take it off in that direction. Sticking with a car in theme, maybe if we jump ahead to the architecture collection and we think about putting that car in front of the pub or in front of the church, that's going to work for you. Let's have a little look. The musical theme. I feel there's a bit of play there to go down the wedding route perhaps, and do maybe like the violin next to the car. So I feel that there's a bit of play between many of the things that we've done already this year. But there is a whole little vintage travel collection to introduce you to. Now that reminds me of our question. We need to ask you our question of the evening. Tonight we're hoping to fit in a couple of demos, and when we do, we'd like to give away whatever we create. So your question this evening, and I'm going to tell you early so you've got a bit of time to think about it, and I will prompt you again later. So if you need time to mull, don't panic. We've got all the way till about 2 minutes before we end, and then we'll pick on Pete to come up with a winner for us. But the question this evening, if you could go back in time to any era, decade, moment, what would it be? Where would we go? What would we like to go and see? Do we want to dance with the Egyptians, eat with the Romans? Where are we thinking? And it can be that far back, or it could be back to, I don't know, 2015 when something exciting happened. I don't know. You tell me. This is what it's all about. You telling us when you'd like to go to. Maybe it is something random, like you'd like to meet the Egyptians. Or maybe, and there's no reason why we can't, maybe you want to jump into the future. Maybe you want to see what all this AI bit does, and we'll live on the moon. So yeah, fill the comments, let us know. What era, time, decade would you like to go to? And if you want to tell us why, so we're not just left wondering why you'd like to be with the Romans, then of course let us know. We do like a funny answer. So, shall we move on then and start looking through the main collection? I haven't got the stamps, Pete. Can you pass me the stamps, please? Sorry.
What?
I know out of all my fine doings, I knew I'd forget something. So our travel collection is going to start, if you hadn't guessed, with a stamp set. So this is our travel collection vintage tags. Now in here you will see that you've got all different tickets, you have got all different little postage marks, you've got all different little bits. So we're going to lift this up so you can see some of them. On the top here we've got VIP birthday boarding pass. Maybe that's for a plane, maybe that's for a train, maybe that's for a ship, I don't know. Then we've got first class, all aboard, enjoy your trip. Happy birthday to you, smiles across the miles, free pass. We've got return explorer ticket. We've got high flyer. I think we need a plane to go with that flyer. Don't get many ships in the air, do we? Then we've got, unless it's an airship, which we do actually, so we could use that with a steampunk airship, couldn't we? Maybe. Luxury travel, airmail, priority delivery, VIP, maybe that's for your envelopes, that could be cute. Maybe we're thinking Christmas. I don't know why I always think postmarks and Christmas. Take it easy, hotels and resort, room number, VIP suite. That's giving me scrapbooking vibes. Bon Voyage, adventure travel company. And then we've got Dream Travels, time for an adventure with dates and numbers available to write in there if you want to. Then you've got Special Delivery Co, first class, we take care of you, airmail. Then at the very top here, we've got first class, admit to the adventurer. Very, very nice. Now to go with these, because let's be honest, we love a good tag, don't we? We love a good ticket, but who wants to be cutting out when we don't have to? Let's bring in the dies. So here we have our tag die set. Now this is rather cool because basically whenever we design dies, we know that we're going to bring you in the taggy elements, the bits that we need to match the stamp set. But it often means that we can fit in a little bit more. So how about we fit in the perfect frame to go with the collection? The perfect frame in which the items we're going to be looking at next will fit within. The perfect frame that not only cuts, but debosses all of that beautiful detail. So when we come in with our waxes, for instance, we've got something to polish over and match in with the rest of our collection. So this frame, these tags, you're going to see oodles and oodles of these as we go through the products. So we've got tags, we've got stamps coordinating. I love this little tag booklet-y bit, that proper little tag, so you can fold it and put it together. You can stamp your stamps inside it. You can use the window, you can put some acetate in there. Then you've got all your other tags. Really like this one as well. It reminds me of a little Christmas tag. Very, very cool, very, very fun. Then we move on. Why is Gwen wants to be a medieval wench? What's this about, Gwen Fletcher?
I think we're seeing another side.
We are. This does remind me.
Go down.
When I was writing the question out, I was singing a bit of Share Turn Back Time. And now you've mentioned that. Have any of you seen the Uber Eats advert that Cher's done where she goes back in time to medieval times? If you haven't, it's worth Googling. It's very, very funny. I find it very, very funny. And then I found the other day that they must have, at the time they filmed it, asked her to do other versions. So she's done like different ones for Australia and places like that. I never watch TV with adverts on it, so I don't know if we've got an English version. I haven't gone that far, but very, very funny advert.
Just picturing Gwen as a medieval wench. Anyway,
I'll leave that to you.
I think I said that out loud.
Off you go. So, okay, let's skip through some of these. So, let's see. We've got our tags. We've got our vintageness. What do we do with a tag? What do we put it on? We put it on a suitcase, don't we? So let's bring in our vintage suitcases. This is 2 dies. Again, heavily, heavily etched. So going to give you beautiful detail. Oh, prices, that's important. We haven't done prices. Stamps, $11.99. Tickets please. Tickets please. I wrote that down and give it to you, haven't I?
14.
The tickets are $14.99 according to Pete, but I can't see that tag. And suitcases are $12.99 to give you an idea. Then we move on to, we've got our tickets, we've got our cases. Where are we going? What are we travelling in? We need a car, don't we? Car's going to get us to the airport, so that's the car, $11.99. When we get to the airport, we're going to board a plane and we're going to have our biplane. That one's $11.99. Once the plane lands, we're going to get it on a train because we need a train to take us to the dock. When we get to the dock, we're going to get on a ship.
For the record, I've not been vetted this story yet. So.
Well, I am running out of why, and this is the problem of making up stories.
With the next 2?
Stories on the spot here. We've got from the cases to the car to the plane, on a train to the ship. I don't know why, because we're in the middle of the ocean. But maybe you need a bike. I don't know where this is going
For
anymore.
when you get off at your destination.
Yes, so when we get off at the destination, we're going to take a push bike from the ferry terminal
That's mine.
to the road, and we're going to get
That's
on the
yours.
motorbike that's going to take us off on our adventure. Good luck balancing that suitcase on that motorbike, but neither here nor there. Leaving the story out of it, I introduce you to the very crazy travel collection. So as you can see, without all of my daft story, we have got a bicycle which has matching flowers to go in the little basket. We have got our motorbike. We have got our ocean liner with separate waves. We have got our steam train with separate puffs of smoke. These puffs of smoke work perfectly, of course, with our ocean liner as well. They also work very nicely with our biplane, and of course make very nice clouds to go behind the plane as well. You've then got your vintage car, your vintage motorbike, your vintage suitcases, and your tickets and tag set. Now, if you're all still with us and haven't decided that I've lost the plot, shall we show you some inspiration? And then I promise we'll do some demos. Any questions, let me know. As Pete hands in the first set of products or samples, I'll just share with you the reverse of these so you can see the amount of delicate detail that's been crammed into every one of these to give you that etched effect. You're just too busy chuckling. You're not getting in my samples, are you?
Yvonne would like to go back to her wedding day and say no.
Oh, Yvonne.
A lot of...
Oh, I like that. I don't like the fact you're not happy with your hubby, but for your partner, but equally, it would be very nice. Are we going to get some samples? I can only feel for so long.
Sorry, I was...
Honestly, this is why. Waxes or Pete, the question is there. They're going to get very bored of just watching me flick through these.
The answer is very much there.
Honestly. Okay, let's put these out of the way. And now Pete's got up. Let's have a look at some samples.
Sorry,
okay, sorry all. So we're going to start off with the suitcases. This is the suitcases cut and debossed. I'm going to hold it still so you can see it. This is the level of detail we're talking about when we're talking about that etching. This is what we're getting. It's this depth, this texture that to me really brings that die cut to life, or those die cuts to life. When we start bringing these in, maybe we're going to do one of the triple layer look. You know, I'm a bit obsessed with this at the moment. If you haven't heard of this, you haven't seen this, this is when we bring in our scallops or a outside edge design, and we do it in triple shapes. So 3 different shapes, matching layers. So scallop circles with pierced detail, scallop octagons, pierced detail, scallop squares, pierced detail. Then we've got the kaleidoscope segment corners, we've got the rippled star blossoms, and we've got the lavish foliage. So that's all coming together for you, creating, of course, around our suitcases. Then we've got one of our stencil vault stencils. I actually did this on the craft store. This is the one we did live, and I loved it so much. The background part, I thought I'm going to have to keep that and use it. So I've brought it in here with the cases, adding the cases on, adding on one of the sentiments. Very similar to the first card, but a slightly larger format. Maybe enough room here, actually, I could have added in some wording. Then we're going to go on, and this one is done by Wendy. So Wendy has brought in our lovely hot air balloon. And again, this is what I mean about collections working together. Hot air balloon from the floral lace dyes. We've got the cloud stencil used to emboss here. The cloud stencil, I don't even remember when that came out. Was that with the original floral lace stamps, Pete? Maybe?
Yeah. The floral lace collection.
Yeah, the original one. Then we've got the cases, the ocean liner, the sentiments, the flowers, all coming in. Now this is gorgeous. Who's this one? This one's Wendy again. Wendy has gone big on the tag. So this is one of our big MDF tags. She's brought in the cases. She's used the waxes to go over them, to colour them all differently. She's brought in the ticket. She's brought in the flowers. This is the rippled blossoms, I believe, something along them lines, one of the older ones. And then we've got the entwined leaves. We've got some stenciling in the background from one of the stencil vault stencils, and we've got all of the tickets coming in. And this is what I love, because it's showing you collection after collection all mixing and matching, and to me that's exciting. Then we move on to Ian's card, or one of Ian's cards. Love this, love the way he's made this little luggage tag, added in the little hoop part, put some acetate in the front, done a little bit of scribbling underneath there. I really liked that, thought that was beautiful, giving me very Titanic-esque vibes, which I love, although obviously we don't want that to happen, but very lovely sort of retro imagery. Then we move on to this one. slightly different in colours, very different in style. This one reminds me of Harry Potter, which I thought was really lovely. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but using the pinstripe stencil in the background to build up the lovely lines, then adding on the cases, nicely coloured, and then a little bit of wax over the top of them with the sorry you're leaving, and the flowers from the bicycle in on the top there. Loved them. So let's pass these ones off to Peter and we will bring in the next ones. So that, of course, was some samples to share with you with the suitcase set. Then we'll bring in the ocean liner. So the ocean liner die set, when cut and embossed, is going to give you this kind of effect. You've also got the waves in here for you to be able to build up a bit of a scene if you wish to, and to use them together. I didn't actually in a lot of my samples. I don't think I used the waves hardly at all, but that's nice because it means you've got the bits to bring in and use if you wish to. When we bring in this card, you can see our most recent flower leaves. Then against this card, we've got our lovely frame. That's the frame that comes in with the tags when it's embossed. How beautiful is that? It's kind of an A6 frame. Then we've got the suitcases, we've got the tags all going together with, of course, our ocean liner. Those tag stamps or ticket stamps work beautifully to make up a background. Maybe you just want to go in with your waxes and create some detail. Now, these are the flowers actually that come out with the Cuddly Clan collection. But again, because of the amount of etched detail on those flowers, when adding waxes to them, look really, really beautiful. Now, this is lovely. This one's done by Wendy. Bit brighter than the ones I've been sharing with you that I've done. Happy Father's Day on here, the lovely ocean liner, all put inside that gold frame. Very, very effective. Then we move on and we've got one done by Ian. Ian has created a little porthole to put his, a little window, port window. What do you call it?
Porthole.
Porthole? It's not a porthole, is it? Is it a porthole?
Porthole.
What are you chuckling at then?
You just make me smile.
Oh,
Oh.
you shouldn't chuckle because I thought I'd called it completely the wrong thing. You made me
I
panic.
think it's called a porthole.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So made his little window and then added in the ship on the inside of the ocean liner. Number one dad on the front here. I really like the way he's made this out of the circles. I thought that was rather cool. Then we move on and we've got one by Lynn. So Lynn this time, and I really like this, and this is what I love about a collection that all works together. So we've gone for two of the elements. We've got, of course, the biplane and the ocean liner. But on top of that, we've got Happy Father's Day, we've got the tickets, we've got the sea. And down here for Lynn's sea, she's used one of the stencil vault stencils.
Rippled satin?
That's the one. That's it.
Satin?
That's it. Mm-hmm. Then another one here by Lynn. So a nice cute little card, A6 card, bought in the frame, done some stamping around it, bought in the waves, bought in the ocean liner, added in the tags, and then sending you all the love in the world at the top there. Even some stenciling in the background. Now you are going to notice there is a bit of a theme. You will spot this diamond stencil in multiple places. You will spot the pinstripe stencil in multiple places. And the one that I think looks like wood panelling that isn't called that at all, but I'll tell you when we get there. They are all on the Highlight Crafts show this week, available for that. So you'll see them for a lot of the samples. They're not new, so they are already available from the stockists and out and about, but there will be a bundle of them on the shows. Gwen says, why is it called a porthole? What happened to the starboard hole? Oh, you're getting a bit techie now. I'm just going to not agree. I'm a bit late to the party, but loving the look of this collection. That is lovely to hear, Natalie. Very lovely to hear. So then we move on to our vintage motorbike. So again, I know we've got a motorbike, haven't we? We've got a motorbike that we bought out with the mechanical collection. Much, much smaller, much more modern. So we've gone for a bit bigger, a bit more detail, and of course, a vintage motorbike. So vintage motorbike this time, $11.99. Being honest with you, and this is like a really important thing. You might think, well, why has he done another kind of masculine collection? I know we don't have to use it for masculine at all, but why have we done that? Your feedback, being honest with you, you know, the mechanical collection, we have struggled to keep that in stock since that came out in, I think it was January, wasn't it? Is that the collection we launched on Christmas Eve? No, clear texture paste we launched on Christmas Eve, didn't we? And the mechanical collection come out as like the first release in January, I think, something like that. Nevertheless, we've really struggled to keep that in stock. And one of the questions we get asked the most from the stockists, from you guys, everybody is, can we add more to that? Can we do more to that? Can we bring more? this is another segment in that release in my mind, because of all of those cog corners, all of those cog backgrounds, all of those tools that we've bought you already are going to work perfectly to go in with this release. So it's just trying to build up a family, build up a collection. You know we love to do that. This is no different. So new motorbike, vintage motorbike. Let's have a little look at how that looks. So here we have one on the background. This is the background I made on last week's live. And I said to you, we're going to be using that on a card for next week's collection. This is the card I had in mind. Then, of course, you've got the happy birthday to my best friend. Then if we move on, we've got number one dad. And then showing you don't have to use all of the motorbike if you don't like to. If you like to use small cards, don't have to use every part of it. Then we move on and we've got the motorbike cut in gold mirror. Now, this is really important. The level of etch detail on these dies, if you cut them in mirror card and rubber stays on over the top, this is what you're going to be able to achieve. Don't they look like those foiled art pictures when we get those and we engrave into them? And all it is gold mirror card and a stays on ink patch. Just rub that over the top and the gold detail will shine through due to all of the effort that's been done on those dies to bring you all of that etched work. Around the rest of the card, you're going to see that frame coming in. And then I wanted to bring in the ovals. So this is the nested ovals set. And I've created what to me looked like a picture frame. It gave me school picture vibes. But that was important to me because I like to show you how these frames are going to work really nicely for your scrapbook pages, as well, of course, as your cards. Then another one here, just bringing in the waxes. So, of course, this is using the Silver Star from the brand new Gilding waxes, going over the top of black card to just highlight the texture that's created on the words, the frame, the bike. Another one here, this one is done by Wendy. Wendy has gone in and trimmed bits out and layered up the bike, brought in the tools and the cogs and the single cogs. And this is what I mean about using the collections to work together. One here by Sharon. Sharon's brought in the cog corners, made a little cog border in the background, brought in the sentiment, brought in the bike. That works really nicely, as well as the Opticons. This is cool as well. This one's Ian, if I remember rightly. Ian's done a little easel card. This is the stencil I was on about that reminds me of wood panelling. Pete, we need the name. I can't keep calling it wood panelling, sorry. But that stencil, and he's made a little easel, and the motorbike stands up at the front here, and you've got the sentiments and you've got the tools coming throughout that. I really like that. I thought that was very, very cute. Then we move on to another one from Ian. So again, bringing in that diamond stencil, using some of our metallic inks to go through that one, putting the bike on the front there with the spanner. Again, cogs, spanners, they're all from the previous collection, and then adding in the sentiment on the top there. This one is by Lynn. Lynn's brought in another one of the Stencil Vault stencils. Diamond lines, maybe, something like that. But here in silver, doesn't that look like that sheet metal you get? What's that metal called, Pete?
Oh, I can't think.
No, I don't know. But that metally stuff.
Thing, is it?
And then she's added some tools on here as well. And we've got the number one dad on the inside. Very, very nice. I also really like the way she's using the pebble grey card blanks. Very lovely. Then we move on to our next one. Now, this one is done by Lynn. And again, Lynn has used the cog background die set with the tool dies, with the screw heads, and then easel again. So we've got some more tools down the front there and a little stopper bar with the screw heads on it, which works really, really nicely. Using the waxes to go over the top of the motorbike looks really lovely too. So that's our motorbike. Let's pass that one off to Pete and we will bring in the next one. So the next one is, of course, our train. So we're looking at our steam train here. So just look at the detail on here. All that beautiful etched detail, whether you leave it in one colour, whether you bring in your waxes, whether you bring in your inks, it doesn't matter. That's going to look like a showstopper, whatever we do with it. Here's one where I've used some black ink over the top and then I've heat embossed it in clear. In the background, you will see all of those ticket stubs and little postmarks coming through to do some stamping and then using our diamond stencil to emboss it. Now, going back to our gold mirror card effect, have a little look at this one. So this is the gold mirror card being brushed over with the black stays on to create all of these different looks. Lynn has rescued us. It is called the large trellis. Thank you, Lynn. You are my saviour from just calling it wood panelling. That's not good, is it? It's not good at all. Oh, Fran Porter, how many passes on average do you make in a die cutting machine to create a card? That's a very interesting question, Fran. I suppose it depends. Like this card, this would have been a lot more because of there's a lot of elements. But then would it have been actually? Because in honesty, a lot of my gold I did in one pass because I did multiple pieces in one go. So maybe in my case for this card, 2 passes for the gold elements, a couple of passes for the words and the tags, and then I embossed my diamond stencil in the background, so maybe a couple of passes for that one. But this is all created on an 8x8 card, and I'm going to demo this at some stage, whether that's going to be on the Highlight Craft shows or maybe on one of the lives. But it's an 8x8 card. I'm not going to be able to do it that way, so I'll show you this way. 8x8 card, scored at 2 inches. So 2, 4, 6, and then that gives you your 4 different divided pieces, and then I've just added tabs on them to be the size I want them to be. By memory, 3 inches and 4 inches spring to mind, and then I've decorated them with the different pieces. So of course we can see the train, we can see the suitcases, we can see the ship, we've got the Happy Father's Day, we've got the tags, 1 stamped, 1 left plain for your message. To give you an idea, all folds down so it can go relatively flat. If you'd like to post it or put it in a box. Then we'll move on, and I'm feeling like we're going on for hours, and I'm really conscious that you're going to like fall asleep. So I'm going to speed up a little bit and bring in some of these in. That's lovely, isn't it? I love the way Ian, it is Ian, isn't it? It's got this golden shimmer going onto this. Reminds me of Willy Wonka. Chocolate Factory, golden ticket-esque. Don't know why. That golden shimmer. This is lovely as well. This one's Lynn. So Lynn's brought in the large trellis to create the background and then added elements on. This one's Cole. This one I believe is Lynn as well. I like the way, and I know Lynn isn't aiming for it. It's more like a time travel-y, porthole-y vibe to me, but actually gives a bit of a Christmas tree vibe too, which looks really nice because the triangles would make perfect Christmas trees. I didn't get to do mine, but I was thinking with these, the triangles I mean, if we took them and folded them in half and put them back to back to back to back to back to back to back, we could make some really cool hanging decorations that look like 3D trees. And then you could stick loads of gems on them and decorate them, maybe you emboss them first, but that would look really lovely. So Christmas is never far away, and nice to start looking at bits and thinking, well, actually, that is going to work with this collection, but when we get to Christmas, it's going to work with that as well. Then we move on to the vintage car. So we have got our embossed work going on once again on this one. And then when we start bringing in our samples, this is the sample that I shared with you on the Facebook share that I did earlier. Sorry, I'm very distracted. Our poor cat, Sherlock, has decided to come and say hello. Most weeks we get away and he doesn't want to come say hello, but tonight he's trying to come say hello. So we'll send Pete out to subdue him with some dreamies. That'll work. He loves the dreamy. So, okay, back to the card. This is the one that we shared on Facebook earlier this evening. So if you'd like to save that picture, I know a lot of you like to save the pictures. You can, of course, save that picture. It has got the car on this one. It's got the sentiment. It's brought in the flowers and the foliage from the last release as well. These waxes, this again is a card I want to demo at some stage. These waxes, I think these are going to be my new sort of saviour when it comes to colouring. I always tell you I don't colour very well, and I don't. I am more of like a 2-year-old when it comes to colouring, and I'm very guilty of just kind of getting a marker and throwing it on where I can and trying to make do with that effect. Doing that and then going over with just a small amount of this wax really brings together all of your finished result. It's just, I don't know, and I'll have to show you in demo at some stage. But it really just pulls it together and distracts the eye from my dodgy colouring. So if, like me, you're not the most confident colourist, that's a bit of a hack that can really save you bacon. You'll also notice in the background, this frame, suddenly a square. I know, who would have thought it? Of course, being a rectangle, if we want to cut it down, move it about, hide those joins underneath the car, very easy to do, but of course means that we've got more scope to create larger or smaller frames. Bringing in that church from our architecture collection is going to work perfectly with this car. Going for a more diagonal look, maybe slightly pared back, is going to work. Going in like Sharon has here with those waxes, bringing in those cogs is going to work. Going for a more, oh, this one's lovely, look at this one. Metallic-y look with the mirror card, and the car looks really lovely. Maybe dressing it up again with the cogs like Sharon has here, bringing in the waxes. Oh, this is lovely. This one is done by Lynn, bringing in that diamond stencil in the background. Look at that car. Look how cool she's created that. That is really, really lovely. Very Downton Abbey-esque to me. Probably wrong era, wrong time, but to me, looks very Downton Abbey-esque. Very, very cool. The last chapter, that's coming out this year, isn't it? The last one.
Yep.
So, oh, they're going. don't know how I feel about this. I don't like the idea that that's coming to an end. Okay, then on to our floral bicycle. I could see Mary out on the bike. If we stick to the Downton Abbey theme.
Okay.
Mary, off on the bike, out to the village, get a loaf of bread. Okay, so bringing in our large trellis stencil. This is another one I've got earmarked to demo at some stage because it's just really pretty and really lovely. And bringing in those flowers, that is foliage, our corners, our stencils. Ever so simple to do, but kind of effective in how you can build that up. This frame to me, rather love that. Then bringing in just the bike again with the mirror card, adding the stays on over the top of it. One of our sentiments, one of our stamps, just adding some detail into the background there. Maybe you want to go a little bit more oui. I don't know why I feel that's French, but it looks a bit Frenchy to me. Oui. I don't know why, but it gives me those vibes. You can do that, of course. This one's got our vintage newsprint stamp in the background, stamped in grey, so it's kind of subtle and very sort of elegant-esque. This one is one of the frames that we actually demoed somewhere along the line. I don't know if that was on a show or a live, but we demoed this stamping with the newsprint stamp, and I loved the frame so much I thought I'd cut the middle out, add in the bike, bring in some flowers and decorate that up a little. The bike ones are really, really pretty. This one's done by Wendy, bringing in some of the gilding flakes we bought to you recently. Another one by Wendy, bringing in the waxes and adding those on. Again, that beautiful stencil in the background. This one's done by Ian, sticking to a very simple card, but very elegant, very lovely. Bringing in the frame and adding a few details. This one is Ian again, showing you a more cloudy day, bringing in the clouds with or from the steam train and adding the bike on there. This is gorgeous. This one's done by Lynn, bringing in some flowers and adding the bunting. Look at that bunting. The bunting, of course, is created with the isosceles triangle set, which is brand new as well. And then another one with that lovely large trellis stencil in the background by Lynn, and then bike and lots of flowers, which is really, really pretty. I love those cards at the top. They're very, very delicate. How are we doing? Have we got many more of these to go? I'm sure they're all going to be asleep here. Me rabbiting on for hours.
Just a couple more.
Then we move on to the biplane sample. So our biplane die set, this one really easy to decorate again, bringing these in. Now these flowers, I know we're chatting about the plane, but the flowers, these are of course our rippled star bloom flowers. I don't know how well you're going to see this on screen, but I've cut them, I've coloured them with an alcohol marker, or 2 or 3 actually, blended them so you can see a bit of shading, and then just gone over the top with the Snow White in the gilding wax. And it, again, just pulls it all together, and they might not come through on screen as nice, but they look really pretty and very lovely, and it's giving me Christmassy vibes, thinking poinsettias, thinking maybe that lovely rusty colour for vintage Christmas, maybe some gold for traditional Christmas. I know I keep saying the Christmas word, but to me, it's not that far away, is it really, in the crafty world? Well, it isn't, is it? We'll start in June, we'll start doing Christmassy releases, so it's not far away at all. This is cool, or it's not cool, because this is my colouring a bit like a child again. I wanted to make the illusion of my little biplane up in the sky above the fields. So I just coloured in some little fields, very sort of scrappily, very haphazardly. And again, you've guessed it, gone over the top with the Snow White to give that kind of diffused look to my background. And I think it kind of worked. It's not brilliant, but it's all right. Then we've got some stays on going over the blue of our mirror card, and lots of that blue mirror card coming in different places. This one's done by Wendy. I also really like the blue that she's used over the stencil, which of course is the raindrop of the gilding waxes. One here by Sharon, very lovely, lots of layers going for the octagons. Then another one here, this one by Ian, doing some inlay. So he's cut the frame out. He's cut the frame out of blue. He's then cut the plain aperture out of the blue. He's cut the plain out of the gold and sunk it back in the blue. Did that make any sense? I hope it did. But what it basically means is it's now flat, which is very cool. I really like that look. I thought that was very, very nice. It's obviously paper piece the bits back in the middle as well. So very, very effective. This one's lovely as well. Also done by Ian. Going for that vintage look with the postmarks. Very, very cool. And then we've got one by Lynn. Again, going very vintagey with the thank you for being you sentiment added to the top there. And what I really liked with this one is the postmarks matching in, of course, with our newsprint background. And this is what we like to do, is kind of sticking to the same sizes, same scope, same style, same design idea really, so that when we bring you different collections, it all adds up together and sits side by side perfectly. Then the tags. So you've seen lots of these, haven't you? You've seen the tags and you've seen the stamps being used throughout all the different elements. But if we bring this in for you to see it, that of course is our frame cut and debossed. Then we've got all of our tags going through. You love that, don't you?
Just makes me smile. Cut and
debossed. But all of the tags and the elements on that little sheet to give you an idea. These, of course, are going to coordinate perfectly with the stamps. When they come together in projects, this is what we're looking at. So again, you've got the triangle coming in here. You've got all of those different taggy elements coming in with the stamps, adding on there to give the illusion of someone's leaving and going off on around the world. So hence the sorry you're leaving tab on the top. This one is done by Sharon. I really like this actually. I love how you've done this, Sharon. This background, very, very cool. Reminds me of like a posh bar, don't know why. But the green over the top there of the gilding flakes looks really cool. Then we've got this one. This is cool as well. Again, little case down here. Very nice colouring in. Who's done this one? This is Ian. Ian always does colouring brilliantly. Love the way he's coloured that. Little tag again on the top there. Very nice. Then another one by Ian, bringing in all of those little tags with the ocean liner. Very, very cool. Then we move on. Now, I think we're getting towards, oh, we haven't. Still got, yeah, let's show you these. So these are, because I like to do this actually, and I haven't done a lot of this in this release, and I hope you're all still with us and you haven't fell asleep. I'm really, really sorry if you have, because I know I'm like nearly an hour in and all we've done is chat, but I'm hoping you're enjoying the inspiration, because I always think we can demo, but you lot are really talented crafters, and you know most of the steps we're going to do in that demo, where if we bring you loads and loads of inspiration, you can see fully what you're going to be doing with this collection once you've got it. And that hopefully sparks off a lot more ideas than me just making a card or two. We will make a card or two, but it's nice if we can try and fit in both. But this is cool, is when we bring you multiple pieces from a series on one project. So this one, of course, has got the biplane, the train, and the car. We've then got some little sentimental pieces added in. We've got the smoke coming out of the train. We've got thank you for being you added onto the top there. And I just thought that was really, really cool. Done by Ian, showing you how you could fit multiple pieces on one project. Then we go with that same idea in mind. We go on to one that Wendy's created. So Wendy has created this beautiful scrapbook page, because we love to bring you page inspiration. And this is a great page to share with you. So Wendy has done some gilding flakes around the frame. She's done, or a little frame here. She's made the frame out of the tag set. She's used gilding flakes to coordinate on her ocean liner and on her biplane. We've then got a sentiment at the top here, sending you all the love in the world. We've got the little suitcase down the front here. And then to top it off at the bottom, we've got the train. Coming in behind all this, we've then got the Latin script stamp, which I don't even know if that's what it's called, but our script stamp. Oh, it is, I'm getting a nod, Latin script stamp being used over this side. And then the newsprint stamp being used over this side. And it's giving me very pirate-esque, travel-y feel vibes, which I thought was really, really gorgeous. Then we carry on with this idea of showing you how you can put multiple pieces into one thing. And this is done by our lovely Sharon. And Sharon has gone to town on making this little mini book. So on the front here, we've got our travels, we've got our suitcase. When we open up and we move through the booklet, I'm going to try and do this properly, we can see we have got our triangles being brought in. We've got our mini cogs. We've got our tickets being added in. Sharon's even wrote on some of these to put little details. Maybe this is for a holiday. Maybe this is for a round the world trip. Maybe this is something special, maybe a honeymoon. It could be any of them bits that we're adding in the details on throughout them. Left here, space for a photo. When we come on to our isosceles triangle, I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's the first time I've ever known in life that that is what this is, and not just a triangle. Sharon has left space to journal on this tab with more cogs. Maybe you want to add in another ticket, maybe you want to add in a proper theme park ticket or an airline ticket. Then when we turn this page over, we've got the embossed cogs being highlighted, of course, with the waxes. And then a space again for a photo. Maybe here you want to add a little bit more journaling. Then we move on and we've got a full page this time with one of the triangles added in. And this really does give me like flag vibes. Around this one, Sharon has added more stamped elements. She's added some of the mini cogs as well. Then when we flip this page over, in our little booklet, we will see the cog edge squares, which come out with the mechanical collection. You've got one edge in with each of the different pieces, didn't you? So for instance, I think the smallest one by memory was the one that comes with the cogs. The next one up, I think, was the one that comes with the cog corners, but you yo-yoed throughout them. You've got all of these pieces. We've got more cogs, we've got more stamps. We move on to the next, and of course, room for a birthday photo. Sharon's specified on this one, but any photo, any ticket, any bit of journaling. Then we move on to the next one. We've got another triangle, we've got our ocean liner, we've got our cogs, we've got our stamping. Now, every time you see these can or would or could be left open to be pockets like Sharon's created. So maybe you do want to put your tickets in there. Maybe you do want to put some memories in there. Maybe you do want to put, like Sharon has, more little tags that you can journal on and put into these little places. Maybe you're going to do some secret journaling. I love secret journaling in my albums. If you're not new, or if you are new to that term, that's basically where you write the thoughts and feelings about maybe whoever's in the photos or what you thought of the day. You know, when you go to a wedding and actually it rained all day and it was a bit miserable and you really didn't like the groom, they're all the bits you write on that tag. And then you hide them in here in the hope that nobody finds them until possibly we've handed it down a couple of generations, and then it's too late to get in trouble about that. But it's true, because they were your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions of that day. And to me, that's really lovely to be able to kind of put those bits in, or maybe they're just secrets, or maybe they're bits that you don't want the whole world to know, but you want it to be remembered and put in place somewhere. Photo, journal space, another little element here from our car. Then we flip over and we've got our bike, we've got our flowers, we've got our cog background. Another photo about today. Sharon's much nicer. She's left room out here for you to tell everybody about the wedding, not hidden it away. But it's up to you. It's your album, it's your creation. Then we move over, we've got cases, we've got stamped elements, we've got more cases, we've got all of these bits. Maybe they've gone off on their honeymoon at this stage, and it's honeymoon vibes we're putting through onto these ones. Then we turn over and we've got the plain, more of our triangles, more little tickets. Again, our little tickets coming out. This time Sharon has created a little movable area underneath our suitcase, so that can be removed. And then our last page, a little bit of room for some journaling. Maybe you're going to add some photos on here as well if you want to, but of course featuring the train. And this to me is really exciting because it shows how you can make a little album where everything's going to coordinate together and it's all going to go through and tell a story. And it isn't like, when you're looking at it, and I know you're going to know what I mean here, but sometimes we kind of have to buy a train from this brand and a plane from that brand and a sentiment from that brand. And although maybe the theme is there, the sizing, the scale, the details, they don't all coordinate. And that's what I love about being able to bring you a collection all at one time, everything matches. And even if we don't cover everything today, as we go through, we'll add more and more to these collections. And I think you're starting to see that now. I know you are, that we're building more and more libraries, as I like to refer to them as. And that means that when we come back to a collection, or when we introduce a new collection, more's going to work with it. Now, this blew my little mind. This is created by Wendy. Wendy has created this amazing isosceles triangle box. Now, what I loved, can I show you this? I think I can. On the bottom here, cake slice, pizza slice, box. How cool is that? Who wouldn't love to open this up and find a big old slice of cake in there? Now, I know mine would be Victoria Sponge. I think we've had this as a question once before. But whatever your cake may be, maybe that's going to be a little gift. Maybe you're going to do exactly what Wendy has. She's made a matching card that goes on the inside of the box. And when that stands, that looks super cute, because I know you're at the wrong angle, apologies. But you can see how the train is sat there perfectly, but yet you've got that really cool shaped element to it. I really like that, very cool way to make a card blank. And of course, fits in the box and coordinates. Then we move on. Now, Wendy, I love this. I love the little gifts I get from the DT when they make projects. It's really, really cool. In Wendy's, she's gone for Father's Day. So she's give Dad a little eye mask to make sure he gets some good sleep and a pair of travel socks. How cool is that? Love the little gift idea, love the little sentiment. And then on top of that, we're going to bring this out so you can see it. Wendy has used all of the stamps to stamp the tissue paper. So when we talk about a collection taking you through every single element, whether it's gift giving, whether it's scrapbooking, whether it's card making, whether it's home decor, this is kind of what we mean about one collection that covers all of those eventualities. and gives you scope to go off on every different tangent. And to me, that's really exciting because it means that not only can we craft more and more and more, it also means if we're making to sell, maybe we're going to do matching cake boxes to go with our cards. Maybe we're going to do those matching frames to go with it. Maybe we're going to do pages for them to be able to scrapbook the event after the event. It all works. So with those triangles that Wendy was using, this of course is the set for those, 17 in here. Recommended retail price, $18.99. When I bring these in for you to see them, you can see they go up to quite a nice size. I will give you a size before I forget. The largest is 8 inches by 6 inches. And this again is always important because it means when we start talking about rectangle dies, for instance, other panels and bits, it's all going to match. It's all going to size match to what we're doing because we're in the same scopes, the same places. You look at this being our scalloped rectangle, that's going to match perfectly in with this triangle size because we've kind of kept it where we can to the same dimensions as what you need size-wise to go with your squares, your circles, all of those bits. So that, of course, is this one. And we bring these into our cards, and I know you're probably falling asleep now, but let's share with you just a couple of bits that we've done. Pages, cards, tickets, home decor, all coming together. Maybe it's bunting we're doing, maybe it's the big box like Wendy did, maybe it's actual bunting, maybe it is, you know, for a party that's coming up and you want to do some proper bunting. You look at these, this is like the smallest size that you've got here. Do actual proper baby bunting, birthday bunting, Christmas bunting. You're going to have the scope to do that. Maybe, and this is something I've never seen, maybe you want to do matching bunting to go with your cards. If you're somebody who's doing fairs and you want to do matching bunting to go with your cards and sell that as a set, sell that as a themed set, that would work really nicely. This is cool. This one's done by Sharon. So Sharon's used the steam from the train as clouds at the top there. She has brought in our Christmas village and wrapped that round on her triangle. She's put really modern-esque trees in the background with the triangles. She's then used the triangle to be the base of this. She's brought in this same steam that we've used as clouds and turned it into bushes and trees. How cool is that? Just mind blown. Then we've brought in the train, we've layered that up, we've added some yellow in for the windows, and we've added a Happy Father's Day on at the bottom there. To me, very, very cool. Then lastly, and then I promise we're going to do some demos, how cute are these? These are done by Ian. Ian has made these little tiny gift boxes using the triangle. Now this is really easy to do, in honesty. There's a couple of different ways you can go about it. Looking at Ian's, I think he's put some over the edges of his folds so that that is all one panel, and then he's added on these side pieces. But you could, of course, cut the triangles, score across the bottom of them, make a matching size square and build them around that. There's a few ways to end up in the same area. What Ian has done, and this is what I love, you know, anybody in the world that ever gets to the point that they can have a DT that sends them not only incredible collections, but cream eggs, that's got to be life made, isn't it? That's got to be life goals done. That is perfection personified.
Surprised that's still in there.
This one's empty. This one is empty. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it started off empty or if it's gone somewhere. And I wasn't too sure if it was you or me. But this one's empty. But Ian might have just done one to show us. But added in this little ribbon to hold it all together. I thought that was a really lovely idea. I'm not going to bow it now, but we'll stick it together. The other idea, of course, is you put two together. Now, if you have anybody in your family who is into The Sims, I know The Sims is like one of the #1 selling games ever. You imagine doing this in the Sim diamond colour and then putting your mini eggs in it for Easter or your little treats in it, or maybe sticking as they are and hanging them on trees and bits. To me, I think these are lovely. Again, we talk about matchy-matchy. Think about doing your bunting, your card, and your gift boxes all coordinating, all from that triangle. To me, that's an essential. So I'm going to give us a second to get rid of these bits, and I'm going to have a little look to see if I've missed any comments that we need to answer, because as always, we're here for your questions. So if there's anything you'd like to know about, if I've missed anything in my endless waffle, please let me know and we'll do our best to answer them for you. In the meantime, I'm going to pass these bits off and we're going to have a little look back. Did you see any questions we haven't answered, Peter? And don't forget, while I'm scrolling, if you haven't already, to win the cards that we're about to make, because I promise we're going to make something, to win those, let us know what era, decade, time you would like to go back in or jump to. Where would you like to be? Romans? The next decade? I don't know. Tell us. Whatever it is, we'd like to know, and we'd like to hear the reasoning why you would like to go to that place in time. Did we miss any questions? Have you got any questions, Peter?
Like reminiscing about different decades.
Decades. Have we had decades? Have we?
Alison said, our lovely glue lady. Evening, Alison.
Evening, Alison. Oh, Alison, I loved your little action figure. I haven't shown Pete that yet.
Do you mean
I don't know if you'd know of this. Do you know that?
What do you mean action figure?
Pete isn't the most social media-y person, which is kind of lovely, isn't it? Sometimes I wish I could be a little bit more out of it, but we love it, so we're not moaning. But there's a whole trend over socials at the moment where people are using ChatGPT to make themselves into action figures in packets.
Yeah.
And Alison made one of herself.
Did she?
With a glue bottle.
She didn't.
With a glue bottle. Cute.
I need
on our
to see
group.
this.
I'll show you a photo later. You're going to have to check if I've missed anything, because I don't know. It all just keeps moving. I'm not getting on very well tonight, am I? I'm terrible with technology. I apologise to anybody who's asked a question. Michael asked when are these coming out. I'm going to pass this off to you, because I think I might get questions you don't, but give it back when you're done with it, please.
Yes.
Michael, great question. Just to cover this again.
Did answer it.
Well, in case anyone's wondering, I will do my best to make this short. These products will be launched on Highlight Crafts on Thursday. We decided that was the 17th of April earlier at 9 AM on a 2-hour launch. At 1 PM, we will be back with the musical collection for another hour of that one, which is really lovely, because I think this is going to work quite nicely together, especially those waxes. You think of bringing those waxes into that violin, that's going to look amazing. So they're the shows on Highlight Crafts or liveshopping.vip, depending on how you know it as, on Thursday. On Saturday, this collection will be available from Gilly's Crafts at our demo day, our very first demo day. It will be going on from 10 AM till 4 PM, and the lovely Gwen Fletcher will be on hand to inspire you. I've seen some sneakies. It's a day you don't want to miss. It's going to be good, and I mean good. I also hear rumours, what do I know, that there might be a bit of a raffle. What else can we tell you that we know? No, there might be some cheeky offers, but I know nothing. But there might be some cheeky offers. What else can we tell them? Lots and lots of inspiration. Should be a very good day. Don't miss it. 10 till 4, Gilly's Crafts. That is in Ellesmere Port. Oh, I got the thumbs up that time. I'm getting there. Ellesmere Port on Saturday the 19th. Then the whole collection, everything we're talking about, will be available from all of our stockists when we celebrate Stockist Launch Day on Wednesday the 23rd. So Thursday, Highlight Crafts, Saturday, Gilly's Crafts, Wednesday the 21st, all of our other stockists. Okay? So should we do some demos? Should we play? Should we do something quick and easy and fun and see what we can create? I always think on launch nights or sneaky peek nights, more sneaky peeks than launch, we need to keep these simple and quick, because I want to try and show you lots quickly, and I know that I'm going to have blathered on for hours and you're probably going to be bored of me. So we're going to do some simple cards, just a couple of simple cards, but we will of course be giving these away. So simple card number 1. This is bringing in our steam clouds from the train. It is bringing in our plane. It's bringing in our diamond stencil, and it is of course bringing in our triangles, as well as one of our little sentiments. So where shall we begin? Let's start off with our layer. This is what I love about our waxes. So I'm going to bring in one of our blending mats. We're going to work with one of the larger panels to go at the bottom of this card, and we are going to bring in our copper pot wax. Now, of course, you can use these with your finger if you wish to and apply them like we did earlier. But I'm going to show you my nifty little thing I see. This isn't me at all, in any way, shape or form. This is completely borrowed from the lovely Craig Lard. I got to see a clip that he was doing on Crafters TV the other day, and he took his finger dauber and put it on a Mr. bottle. My finger daubers didn't fit on the Mr. bottles I'd got, but they do fit on my alcohol markers. So now this to me, bit of a game changer, because I don't get it. And they're fine finger daubers, aren't they? They're amazing. And you start off with them thinking, oh, this is a game changer. Why didn't I have that there originally? That's amazing. And then after about 10 minutes, after doing a bit of pushing and pulling, you end up that your fingers starting to think, well, actually, I really don't like this. So if I could find a little way to make life easier, I'm absolutely going to. And when I see Craig do this, I thought, brilliant idea. So finger dauber on the end of a pen, or in his case, a Mr. Bottle. We're going to pick up the wax. We're going to take off any excess on the side here because we don't need it to be too heavy. And we're going to bring that around the edges of our card. Now, you will have seen me talk about this in previous times, I know. But to me, the fact I've just taken a piece of our polar white card and I've brought in the most small, like you can't even see where I've been. We're using that small amount. And I'm bringing in this wax and I am now turning this into a piece of pearl card in front of your very eyes, or the amount of it that you're going to see on the project, to me means I've saved money. I don't have to have pearl card in every colour under the sun because I'm making my own. It also means I've got the matching product to go over my die cuts, to do all of those backgrounds, to highlight over my embossing. And of course, we're going to talk about doing this over stencils, but this of course could be over your 3D embossing folders, all of those different bits. But the ability to go round and turn this boring piece of polar white card, inexpensive boring piece of card, into matching pearl card, to me is always lovely. You're chuckling. What are you chuckling at?
You and your boring piece of
Well, it is, isn't it? White card's lovely. It's an essential. We can't live without it. But it's boring.
Fran stealing the dauber tip.
Cool, isn't it? I thought that was great. Just, you know, and there are blending tools available that would work in the same kind of way. So, you know, you might already have them already. But if you don't and you're with your finger daubers, I found that very handy. So speed-wise, I'm going to speed up a little bit for this one because we know a lot of the steps. So I've taken the triangle, I've cut the triangle out. I've brought in the diamond stencil, I've sent it through the machine, so I've embossed it. I know you've seen me do that a million times, so we're going to speed up. If you have a question about it, yeah, we'll cover it. But I'm just trying to think of the bits I've shown you on multiples to make this slightly quicker because I want to try and make something and make sure we give it away this evening. So then we're going to go into the gold. So the gold is quite a light shade, which is lovely because it means we can build it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to go all over our triangle. Now I'm not worried if at this stage I start picking up that copper because in a minute we're going to be introducing the copper, and I'm never too precious about if I end up with multiple colours on the end of the dauber because of whatever I use, even if I got some of that on here and dipped it into here. It's a wax, we're going to bring it out, we're going to use it, it's not going to damage anything. So we're going straight the way over this. Now you might think, well, why did he emboss it first if he's going to go all over the panel? Why didn't he colour it, then emboss it? Of course you can do that, but actually going around the embossing, and you're going to see this more in different areas, you get that little white frame that sits around the edges of the diamonds. And to me, that's really lovely because it brings in depth, it brings in texture, it brings in a point of difference, and it makes it look slightly more vintage. So we're going to carry on going over this, just blending all of this together. Now, of course, you've got 6 colours to play with, so we could dip into any of the others. So should we go for some of the blue, for instance? Let's find the matchy tool for the blue. Did I have that? I dropped it on the floor, didn't I? Here we go, this will do. So we'll bring this one in. So we'll pick up the raindrop, this one's called. We'll take off our excess and we're just going to start to go slightly lighter. So instead of pushing down to cover all of it, we're going slightly lighter because we're just trying to go over the tops, kiss some of the tops of those diamonds. We don't necessarily want to colour everything because if we colour everything, we're going to kind of obliterate the colours beneath it. So a small amount here, just blending together. Then we're going to go in, and this is what I like, kind of building up our rust styles, aren't we? We're going to go back into that copper pot. We're going to take off quite a lot of the excess because, again, we don't want to kind of cover everything, and we're going to just start blending. And you can keep coming back and forth as much as you wish to. And what I love about this, when you put it down, if you, like here, so we do it and it's a bit harsh. We've got that bit too harsh for what we want it to be. Just blend it out. You know, that isn't always possible, is it? That isn't always easily done. That isn't always coverable. Sometimes we go in with an ink, for instance, or a mister. Once you put the colour down, it's kind of there and we're not really going to get rid of it. These are lovely because we can blend, we can hide, we can cover that. We can sort of make it part of the pattern. So again, a bit more of the blue. And I think I'd stop there and let that set. Now, if I lift this up, can we see that vintage look going on? Can we see that pearlescence coming through? Isn't that glorious?
June has just asked for a reminder of what the product is called again, please.
That's always a very good question.
June.
Thank you, June. So these are our metallic wax is our official name. So metallic wax, and then there are 6 colours. We've got raindrop, which is the blue. We have got gold bullion, which is the gold. We have got copper pot. Oh dear, what have I done? How have I done this? Oh Peter, I've got 2 raindrops. This is me playing with the pops before we begin. This one's copper pot. I know that. Then we've got cherry blossom, which is the lovely soft pink. We've got the snow white, which is the white one, and we've got silver star, which of course is the silver one. So it's silver, white, pink, copper, gold, and blue are the first 6 colours in this collection. Now, I say first 6, that isn't alluding to the idea that there will be more. We haven't yet ordered any more, but I'm going to be honest with you, I fell in love with these. So we need to know if we can do more later down the line. But that will, of course, be many, many months away because nothing works very quickly. But they are that lovely. I just want every shade possibly known to man because they're beautiful. So let's do a bit of die cutting, shall we? So let's bring in our plates because I think it's nice for you to see these cut. So we're going to get rid of our blending mat for a second. We're going to bring in our plates for our machine. And we're going to go with, let's do the train at this stage. We're going to bring in the train and we are going to bring in a piece of white card and we're going to lay that over the top. And we're of course going to put our mat on the top of that one to send it through. So I am working with a Pro Cut Kitten Caboodle machine. This is an electronic machine, hence you can hear the whirring. It's very high powered, which is brilliant because it always gives a great cut. And it will always, of course, give more pressure on that etchness to mean that it will already come out relatively embossed. So, which is great because that's what we want them to do. But if we want to really up the ante with these dies, of course we can leave it as it is, but if we want to up the ante with them, the bit I would recommend is you use that rubber mat you've got. We've all got them, we don't always use them, do we? But your machine will come normally with or have available for you to purchase a rubber mat. So I'm going to take the rubber mat and I've taken out the magnetic shim because now I need the right stack for my machine. We're going to take this die, we're going to put it onto a 3mm base plate. We're going to add on the rubber mat and we're going to add on our cutting plate over the top of that. Now what this is going to do is, although the die is of course cut and it's gone through perfectly fine and it's pushed down on that etching, it will be debossed. But by sending it through with the rubber mat, we're going to really up the ante. It's going to push down more on it like we're embossing a stencil. And it's going to take that embossed detail from being slightly flatter but there to really, really prominent. So let's go back to it and see how we got on, shall we? So here we are. Let's dig in. So here is one to give you an idea of what I mean about the rubber mat. The top one is one that I have cut and not embossed. So I've not sent it through with a rubber mat. The bottom one is with the rubber mat. That's the difference. So when we flip these over, I'll take them so you can see them. You can see that on the front one, there is the detail. We can see that it is all present and correct. But when we bring in this one that we bothered to send through with a rubber mat, look how much more detail we're getting. How cool is that? So that rubber mat you've possibly already got in your cupboard that you're never using, and you've seen people say, oh, you don't need your rubber mat. This is why, to me, with these dies, this level of etching, that rubber mat is worth its weight in gold because it's going to really plus what you're doing with them, give you even more detail, give you more depth to work with. So, and if you don't have a rubber mat, there are a couple of different options here. One of my favourites is cutting 2 pieces of card at once. So this is a great scrap buster. Use your first die, put your card on the colour you want it to be. So you've got your die, put your first colour down that you want. We want our lovely white card, so we're going to place that down. Then bring in any piece of scrap card you've got and put it over the top of it and send it through. It won't push down quite as much as that rubber mat just did, but it will push down really well and it will emboss a lot more detail for you. So if you haven't yet got a rubber mat, you don't know if your machine has a rubber mat, you haven't found a rubber mat, that's something you can do instantly with what you've already got available. And it can help use up your scrap items. So once we've sent that through, we've got this at this level. We're now on my one, we did this with a plane, but for me, we are going to do it with the train. We're going to bring in a black ink. So we're going to bring in our Black Panther ink pad, and we're going to take our die cut. I'm going to get rid of that window. Is there a window hanging on there? I think there was. And we're going to brush just over the top here. So all of that detail that has been put into the background of this die, all of that oh, I've lost my chimney, come back chimney. All of that deboss detail that we've put in, we can now highlight with our ink and make this so it pops. Now, if you're too heavy-handed, if you're using a ink pad that's a bit more squidgy than our ones, and by that, different ink pads, due to the different types of ink, are made of different things. So it's nothing wrong with your ink pad. It doesn't mean anything about your ink pad. It just means that it's a different delivery system for the ink that you're choosing to use. So a great example of this is these ones, our quick dry pigment inks. These ones come with a felt base to them. So a nice hard felt base. If we go off to our metallic ink pads, these ones come with a foam base to them. So when we push into this one, we can see that we're going to get a nice squishy effect. Squishy effect over detail means that squishy goes into the holes. We end up with that train all ending up in this lovely sunset red. So if you've got hard ink pads, brush them over the top, you'll get that two-tone effect. If you've got soft ink pads, use a brayer, use that over the top, then the brayer will be the hard bit for you, and it will just colour the top of it, not all the way into the indents. Once we have got our train coloured in black, and I'll give you that little sneak so you can see what we've done, we can then add some colour to it. So we're going to go back into our waxes, and we're going to use the same colours that we were using in that triangle, so everything matches. But of course, one of the big things we've changed at this stage is the colour in which we're working on. When we was doing the last one, we was working over the top of white, wasn't we? Now we're working over the top of black. Now I'm gonna give in with this chimney. It's my fault. I was a bit heavy-handed with the ink pad. We don't need this train, so we're going to remove that part, and we're going to take that out just because it's going to be easier than we keep trying to keep it in place. And we're going to go round with our wax. I'm going to highlight the top of this. Now, again, a bit like I was on about with the ink pads, your daubers are very squishy. So when we come to going over the top of this, if you find that you're being a bit heavy-handed and you're going through and you're ending up with it just being obliterated and we're just ending up with a gold train, don't use your dauber. Go back to the idea of using your finger, because of course your finger is a lot more solid than the dauber is. So we went in with the gold, we'll go in with some of the copper and we'll add this over the top. Do we have any questions, Peter?
No, I don't think so. I feel we should give a shout out because we haven't.
What have we not done?
Well, Diane's sample's been held up, haven't they? So,
oh, of course, yes, Diane.
Give a little reminder about Diane's samples earlier.
Diane's samples look incredible, and they are due to be with us in time for the shows. So there will be more samples. We haven't shown you every sample tonight, even from us, but there will be more samples from Diane next week. And when we're back on Stockist launch night, which will be Wednesday, the 23rd, we'll make sure that you get to see Diane's samples then, as well as a few of the other ones that you've not yet seen. So again, more inspiration coming. There is always more inspiration coming. We're so lucky. We've got such a lovely team. And being honest with you, because of this is the truth, not always does everything behind the scenes go to plan. Not every day do deliveries turn up and things come through at the times they're meant to be. And do you know what? Our DT, they make it work, whatever. Regardless of what's happening, regardless of what's going on, they make it happen. They put out all the stops, they work amazingly together and just create the most amazing stuff. We couldn't be prouder of them, could we, Pete?
No, not at all.
Genuinely.
Thank you.
And I know you hear that from a lot of people in our position, but it's the truth. They're incredible. So on to our steam. I think I've already done this once, but we're going to do it again. We're going to bring in the Snow White and we're going to go over the top of it. And again, with the steam, it's going to have that deboss effect through the clouds or through the smoke. By just going over the top of this, we're adding on a little bit more detail to get that two-tone effect. Now this, of course, matches and goes to that chimney that I ripped off, but it does match to go onto the train if you want it to. For this project, we're going to be using that cloud or steam as a cloud. So we'll get these bits out of the way and we'll move that in. It's been lovely talking of Diane, getting to start seeing Diane's samples appear on our group. And if you're not already a member of our group, I would love to see you join. You don't have to share necessarily. You can sort of just be in the shadows. We have lots of people who are in the shadows, and that's fine. You know, no pressure to share. But if you'd like to share with us, then we absolutely love to see what you're creating as well. But it also, being a group, means that we kind of share a lot more in the group. On our main page, where you're watching this currently, I kind of try to maximise or have a maximum limit, I suppose is what I'm saying, of 4 posts a day. I don't often get that high, but I try to make sure we don't share any more than 4 a day. Just because I think it's unfair to fill your news feeds, your timelines with too much stuff, too much of us. It's not fair. On the group kind of fits into your news feed slightly differently. And it's more of an optional place for you to go for inspiration. And it's more of an open forum for everybody to share. And that's not only me, that's our incredible design team. They share a lot of posts in there. There is literally a whole schedule of when they're sharing and what they're sharing to make sure that we're always bringing you fresh ideas. And that doesn't necessarily mean either with our latest collection. Of course, there's always lots with our latest collections, but you'll also get to see lots of shares from previous collections or ones where we bring bits together, because it's us. When we bring out a product, it isn't just about what we can talk to you about today, it's about what we can share with you tomorrow. And you probably see that loads of times in what we're doing. Like last week, I think it was, we started the triple layer look, and we were bringing in our layering dies to build up more effects with them. And we brought inspiration using our Christmas tree dies and our poinsettia dies. It's April. That's really early and possibly slightly bonkers. But do you know what? You was all here for that. You loved that. We had over 1,000 likes on our Christmas tree card in April. And to me, all that shows is that if it's good inspiration, it's good to bring it to you. And if it's inspiration from a collection from last year or last week, it doesn't really matter. It's about making sure that we're constantly inspiring you to get crafting. And that's really what our DT are all about and what I'm about. Whether it's new or old, is making sure that we inspire you constantly. And the group's a great place to sort of see that inspiration and keep up to date with what I'm doing, what they're doing, what you're doing. And the you're doing bit's really important, because it's one thing us going on about what we like and what we're using and how we're creating with it, but nothing pleases me more than when we get to see what you've been doing, what you've been creating, what you're working on. Do you like the waxes? Do you like the gilding flakes? What have you been creating with them? And it's not even all about our products. We'd like you to use one of our products somewhere in your creation, so there's a reason for it being in our group as such. But besides that, you know, you might bring in, I don't know, background dye from Crafter's Companion, our gilding flakes, top it off with one of Sue's, I don't know, nesting dyes. It doesn't matter. It's all about sharing your ideas and seeing them come together. And seeing our products work with other people's products is actually really lovely. So there's never a problem with that either. Now, where's my little gluey tool this week? Let's bring in a little mat. We'll stick out some glue onto a mat here, and we're going to bring in one of our little expressions. So we're going to use Happy Father's Day for this one. And we've cut this in white, and we're going to just add some glue onto the reverse of this, and then we can place that down just in this corner.
Alison's asking how many hours a day you are cutting and playing with crafts.
How many hours? I am very, 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 very fortunate that I get to work, and I say work in them kind of annoying inverted commas, but I get to work or craft pretty much every day from the minute I'm up to the minute I go to bed, don't I? There's very little time.
If you want to, you do, don't you?
Yeah, there's very little time that I kind of escape. We went for a walk today. We live very close to the beach, and we didn't go on the beach. Can't stand sand. I can't. All that sand everywhere. But we went for a walk along the front today, and I don't even know the last day I went out. Do you?
No.
But I don't moan about that. I love being in this little world, and I get to craft and create and design and bring you all of this inspiration and all of these bits and bobs. And yeah, I love it. I couldn't moan for even a blip. Don't get me wrong. There are times where we're kind of up against it. This week's been a bit crazy in our world, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've had an awful lot go on this week, and do you know what? It's really punishing because I want to tell you everything and I can't. I'm not allowed to. But little teasers. There was lots coming when I in a couple of months, or I'm getting the look from Pete, a couple of months' time, and I tell you that, you know, X and Y are happening, this is the moment it's been happening in this week. Bonkers busy. Been a few weeks, we'll be able to tell you more about that. But nothing too exciting, I promise. But it has been a week and a half, hasn't it, Pete?
It has, yeah.
Has been
That's
a
one
week
way
and
to
a
put
half.
it.
Has been a week and a half.
June was just saying that she loves the new group. She's new and she loves the group that you.
Hello, June. Lovely. Oh, I don't know what that is. I think that's the window out my train, isn't it? Or is it a bit of foam tape? I don't know. Maybe it wants a holiday. Let's find some tweezers. That is lovely to hear, June. We love the group. The group really is your place to sort of chat and ask questions. And we get loads of questions. And do you know what? I love that. So I can't even remember who it was the other day. But somebody said, oh, this is probably a stupid question. There is no such thing as a stupid question at all on our group or anywhere really. Because it's all about making sure that we can answer you. And if you don't know the answer, it's not stupid. It's our place to help you and to try and share it with you and try and make you able to do whatever it is you want to do. That's our mission, is to make sure that if you want to do it, we back you up and can help you do it if we can. There are limits, but we'll certainly try. Oh, I reckon we could fit in one more if we can. I know we've gone well over time, haven't we? What do you reckon?
One more quick one, I think.
Top or bottom? Bottom?
Bottom, maybe.
I can't see the top. It's bottom. We'll do this one then, shall we? This is a good shout, actually, Pete. So this is the one we're going to do next. So it's going to bring in that train and we're going to play around to make up our background. Now, there is a bit of a diamond feel going on here, isn't there? But that's good because that diamond stencil is beautiful. And we'll show you a slightly different way to colouring it to what we did in the first one as well. So where we'll start is by sending Pete to get the stamps. Because I haven't got the stamps. Can I have a look around the desk, see if you can find them? Sorry, my fault. And I thought a little while ago, I ain't got any stamps. I'm going to have to go get them. And then it completely went out of my mind. So we'll send Pete to find the stamps from downstairs. And in the meantime, we'll do the background. They should be on the desk somewhere. If not, we'll open one, but I'm sure they're down there. We'll see what he comes back with. It's not vital. I was just going to share with you how I did my background. But we'll do this part of the background. So we're going to bring in our panel. I've embossed this once again using that rubber mat, using our stencil, sending it through our machine. We're going to slightly work differently on this one. With the die cut, we obviously went in to highlight the raised area all over the die cut. With this background, what we're going to do is something slightly different, not a million miles, but slightly different. We're going to bring in the black ink, but we're just going to go round the edges. So we're trying to be more intense on the sides, making that sort of middle plane and trying to draw the eye into the centre. So not too heavy, not too perfect, just around the edges. And again, black panther ink pad for that bit. We'll then go back onto this panel and we're going to go back in with our waxes. You're going to get bored of listening to me rant about these, but I genuinely am absolutely head over heels with these. So it's nice to sort of show you a bit more inspiration and show you how when we build up over the top of that kind of distressed look, but yet blend it into the plain areas, how gorgeous that looks. And we won't do all of this panel, we'll just do, let's say like a quarter. So we'll go around there, shall we? Just do that kind of quarter is what we're aiming for. Should we bring in some of that pink? We've not used that yet, and this might be kind of nice to give that kind of softness into this. So the pink is beautiful, especially when it's over white because it goes, when it's over black because it goes more white and you get a more sort of icy feel to it. But we'll add that down. But over white, of course, we get that soft pink look. Then we'll go in and we'll add in some of that lovely copper. I can find the copper pen. I'll add that over the top as well. Oh, how did we get on? Oh, 10 out of 10, Pete. You are the perfect challenge, Annika. You can't
It's
talk.
under pressure there.
Under pressure.
Under pressure.
Did it get to you? Was you worried?
I was. You don't know the pressure you put under.
Yeah, no rush at all, is there? We're amongst friends. They know that I forget something every time. There's always something I forget lurking somewhere. So a little bit of the blue as well. So we've done the pink, the blue, the copper, the gold, all being brought into this one corner to create that really cool vintage look. Now you could stamp over that if you wanted to. We could have stamped on this before we started building up. That would have been lovely. So lots of different ways you could build into that. But let's carry on with our next bit. So and this is probably really, truly something you know already. But I like to always cover something. If I've thought of a way to do something and I think that something you might not have thought of, it's always worth sharing. So just a piece of scrap white for this because of it's to hand. And we'll bring in the ticket stamp. And we're going to do it. So how did I do this? I've got to remember myself now, haven't I? I think I put it there, didn't I? So we're going to go down here. And we're going to pick that up. Memory like a sieve, honestly. When I did it, I thought, oh, that was clever. So we're going to ink this up. Sorry you can't quite see it, but it's there. We're going to ink that up. And we're going to bring that in. And we're going to stamp that down. And then all we're going to do is we're going to move our piece of paper down to the 24 so that we then know that we can stamp again. As I said, this is probably like proper common sense. And you're probably thinking, well, obviously. But it took me a minute to work that out. So then we can stamp that one. We'll ink up again. We'll move the top of that one down to 24. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm on about, there are little numbers on the side here. You can't see them brilliantly on the screen, I apologise, but they're there. Most stamp presses have got something similar. If you don't have numbers, then just stick a black dot with a Sharpie and use that as your guide. But it's a great way to be able to carry on stamping and get your tickets or your tags equally spaced out. I know I'm probably telling you something you know, but I found that kind of handy. Once I've done them, we end up with a little strip of tags like so. And again, because I want to show you these waxes in different ways, if I can find the platform, there we are, we'll go over the top of these. So we'll go back into the same shades we was using. So we'll start off with the pink and do a small amount of this over the top. How are we doing? Anyone got any questions over there, Peter? Did you miss anything in your little run?
No, just Fran just checking in if we're still doing a chat on Easter Monday.
We are doing a chat on Easter Monday, Fran, and because of it should be stockist launch day, but it won't be because it's Easter Monday and most of the stockists are closed. So that seemed a bit silly to launch on a day everyone's closed. We will be having a stockist launch day live on the Wednesday as well. So next week we'll be with you on Monday and Wednesday, both at 7 PM. So 2 lives to join in with if you would like to. Got lots going on, haven't we? So demo day on Saturday, obviously. Shows are this Thursday. So shows this Thursday, demo day Saturday, live on Monday, live on Wednesday, and then of course the paper, I can never do this, the paper and ink boutique live this Wednesday before all of that lot. So the next few days, there's an awful lot to get and sort of see and do, which is lovely. Because it's all about inspiration, isn't it? It's all about making sure we're inspired and that we've got kind of bits to watch out for and to see. So again, over the middle of this, once we've gone for the blue, the pink and the copper to make our little tag line. And I really like the way in which I'm really trying to show with you that although we've just stamped in black ink, we can add more to the top of it. And it takes on the sort of black ink, but it colours over the top and gives that a metallic-y feel to it. So we're not losing it, we're not hiding it, we're plussing what we've created. And that is really exciting because maybe this is a printed paper that you've got. Maybe it's a paper pad sheet that you've got. Maybe it's something along them lines and you just want to add a little bit to it and not lose it. You shouldn't lose it. You should just add on some pearlescence to it and end up with a nice look. So I'm just getting a bit worried about putting marks on my card because I've got a bit messy. So I'm going to bring in them a couple of bits. We're going to bring in our 8x8 card and we're going to bring in our black layer of card. And we're going to use our glue to just add this down. Any other decades or errors? Anyone come up with?
There's a few wanting like Art Decos, you know,
Oh,
sort of those
that'd be
nice
fun.
eras, the buildings and things like that. So
Where would you go to if you could?
I know you're asking. Probably early part 19, sort of early 1900s, sort of when it was sort of the Victorian times. I think that's the right time. It was just a lot slower, a lot different pace. I don't know.
Was anybody tempted to go forwards?
Who was? Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. Who put it on there? I'd like to go with the sun in the future to see if they could eat a burger on the moon.
Okay,
See
I
if
like
that was
that.
possible.
I like that idea.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
You know there is going to be
Long
a
way
Disney
back.
park on the moon one day, don't you? Or on
Probably.
one planet somewhere. It's
Yeah.
got to happen. It's gotta happen. Yeah, I think I'd be tempted to go future to the past. I don't know.
Well, someone again. Sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Oh,
I'd be
Peter,
interested
on
to
job.
know how what crafting would look like in the future. Things like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? To see how it's kind of progressed and what's different. Yeah, no, I can go with that. So our train cut in
You'll
black.
be there with your Zimmer frame, and yeah.
That could be next week. To be fair, that could be literally a week away. But yes, it would be nice to see what craft's going to kind of evolve into. And I think we kind of, like a lot of life, isn't it? Not take it for granted, but don't always keep up. Or no, not keep up, that's not right. We don't always realise how much is developing and how quickly it is. Again, it's a conversation I was having yesterday, I think, with Zoe, and we was talking about the last major introduction in the craft world. What was the last thing that the world went wow to? And I feel it was in kind of papercraft. It was probably 3D embossing folders, which I'm never very good with time, but I'm going to say I've been out like 5 or 6 years, and saying how, we wonder what will be next. What's going to be the bit that we all go wow to as our next item, and what could that be? And I think that's kind of, again, if you're right, if we jumped forward, I'm sure the industry is so clever that there will be so many amazing things coming forward in the next few years. I'm sure there's got to be, isn't there? There has been in the last few years. I'm sure there will be in the next few years. So on to the top of our flower. I'm going to use my finger for this because I don't want to go into the grooves. We're going to use the Snow White to just go over the top here. And this is what I love about really simply, easily colouring over the top of your die cuts. So again, any die cut that's got etched work on it, cut in one colour, colour in another. Maybe this is that lovely, beautiful baby pink cardstock that we have, and you're going to do that with the cherry blossom in the waxes. Or maybe you want to go a bit more vintage and go for the copper over the top. Maybe you want to mix your colours. Shall we try doing that? So obviously we've done the Snow White there. Let's see. Let's go for the copper, because I think it'll be seen on camera possibly easier. But now we'll do the copper coming over the tip. Oh, that looks nice. If we did that around all of them. That's kind of lovely. That kind of two-tone effect coming through. How easy is that? Like, there's nothing complicated with this, is there? Just a little bit of colour, dashed around the edges, job done. So for this, I've brought in our entwined leaves. I've already done those in the copper. I've brought in our rippled star blossom, maybe. Anywhere near right there, Peter?
Rippled star blooms.
That's the one.
Really?
And we've added that on, and we're going to bring in some foam tape, and we're going to stick that down over this corner so we can add these bits on. So down with the twiddles, coming across there. I'm going to layer that one. We might move that one slightly over. Come here. Move that down so it's kind of over the front of the train. Now, last week, I did tell you all that I would be watching Big Brother. Is anybody else watching Big Brother? Are me and Pete on our own? You know, I'm a bit of a Jonathan Ross chatterbox when it comes to TV. Has anybody else given in to the world of Big Brother this week and been watching it? And if you have, tell me in the comments, who's your favourite? Who do you like? Or who you don't like? That's allowed as well. Who are we enjoying watching? Before they went in, only going on what I'd seen, I wasn't a fan of Jojo. I don't know, I just found her very hyperactive and full on. And I didn't know if I would like that. I thought that might become a bit too much to watch as a viewer. But I really liked Jojo. I also wasn't too sure about Chris. I'd never watched Love Island, so I wasn't too sure about Chris. But Chris has come across as a really lovely guy. There's quite a few characters in there, or people, they're not characters, are they? But people that I've really loved seeing and getting to know better in this first week. I know it's not for everybody, but it is, to me, I do like the old Big Brother. I do like the celebrity one at least. We normally try with the everyday one as well, but get bored halfway, unless there's somebody in it who really takes our attention. But the celebrity one's only short, isn't it? It's about 3 weeks. So I can usually stick with that one long enough to see who wins. Okay, and then down here in the corner, we're going to add number 1 dad. And that completes card number 2. Now I've remembered the sentiment. So number 1 dad in the corner, train on the top, stamps in the background, diamond stencil behind that, flowers and foliage, everything covered with the waxes. So when you talk about the waxes, sometimes I think we think of waxes as just a finishing touch. If we look at this card, every single element started off white or black, and it's all down to the waxes that the colours have come in from and brought that card to life instead of just being monochrome. And to me, that's the really fun bit with the waxes. And yet none of it's too OTT. It's all kind of vintage. It's all kind of metallic. It's all kind of yummy. So they're the 2 cards that we're going to send out to our lucky winner this evening. If Pete hasn't already, might be about time to start thinking about who we're going to class as our winner. Now, a little bit of recap for you before we leave you in peace this evening. There is, of course, I mentioned earlier, 25 new products. There is the 10 little expressions which come in the sentiment collection. Do you want to hear all these again? I don't think you do you? Do you want to hear them? Should we run through them quickly? I should, shouldn't I? Should I do my job properly? You've got Sorry You're Leaving. We've got Number 1 Dad. We have got Sending You All the Love in the World. Happy Birthday to My Best Friend. Wishing You the Most Magical Birthday. Best Dad in the World. Thank You for Being You. May Your Day Be Filled Full of Magical Adventures. Happy Father's Day. Number 1 Dad. And happy anniversary to my perfect partner. So they're your 10 very cute expressions. You've of course got the 6 waxes. Now I know I've yabbered about these quite sufficiently, haven't I? But there are 6 waxes. Your pink, your white, your silver, the blue, the gold, and the copper. We have then got triangles, which I don't know where I've put, and I don't know where they've gone at all, but we've got triangles, and we have got our lovely picture die set. So your triangles are the isosceles triangle with 17 different dies in that one. Then we have got the tag stamps, which there's actually loads in here, isn't there? How many are on this? Do we know? Does it tell us? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 stamps on that set. And then you've got your matching die set of 6 dies for all of your different tag elements. You've then got your complete vintage travel collection of elements. So we've got suitcases, we've got the vintage car, we have got the biplane, we've got the steam train, we have got the ocean liner, we have got the vintage motorbike, and we've got the floral bicycle. Now, before we go, Peter, any last questions that we can answer for anybody before we leave them in peace to enjoy the rest of their evening?
No, I don't think so. My comments have been playing up. I'm really sorry if I've missed any.
Waxes or Peter?
So I think I'll be sacked for next week.
No. Double next week, remember? That can be your punishment. Yeah. Monday night, 7 o'clock, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. 2 lives. We will get there. We will do it.
But apologies, we'll catch up on the comments later, won't we? But should we announce our winner?
Come on then, give us your winner, and then we'll do a quick run through the times and dates for everything, and then we can leave it all in peace.
So congratulations this evening goes to a lovely Anne Salmon for choosing the 1940s before the war, when she loved the fashion.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but it reminds me of Mrs. Maisel. I don't know if that was before the...
Oh, I don't know.
You know, when you've got those very different outfits, and
yeah,
it's lovely. Different time.
when people really put effort into what they were wearing.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say.
People
I
had more
suppose.
time, didn't
They
they?
did have more time, and fashion was a big part of everybody's life, not just some people's life, I suppose. Yeah, very elegant, very lovely. I think you're in about the right time. Mrs. Mazer was the big dresses, wasn't she? Sort of hoop dresses, very elegant. Yeah, I think we're about the right era there. Very lovely. So who was it? Sorry, Anne Salmon.
Anne Salmon.
Congratulations, Anne. Thank you for playing along with our silly questions. Honestly, what will we come up with next? Could you please message the page, Anne, and tell us your address so we know where to send the cards to, and if you'd like us to sign them or not. We're happy to leave them plain, but if you'd like them signed, we'll put a squiggle in them and we'll get them posted out to you. So thank you all for joining us this evening. I know we've gone on for forever and it's been a long night, but I'm hoping you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing all the inspiration. From us personally, thank you to the DT for all the incredible work that you've all been doing. And don't forget, next week we'll be able to, or actually on the shows, we'll be able to share more inspiration from Diane as well as the rest of the team. So lots more samples and bits to come from us as well. Times for you to remember. We will post about this as we go through the next few days, but kicking things off on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Canadian time, because I don't think we've got an answer to calling it anything other than Canadian time. 2 p.m. Canadian time, 6 p.m. for our time, the UK time. We have got a live with a guest star of Charlene, who will be guest starring on the Paper and Ink Boutique's Facebook page. So it's going to be them that's hosting it. Charlene's going to be the guest. It's going to be filled full of inspiration. And what I said to you earlier, I'd stand by. I think it'll be lovely to see a Canadian take on our products, because they do tend to work in different sizes and different styles. And that to me is really exciting to see what everybody brings to the table. So 6 o'clock for us here in the UK, 2 p.m. for our Canadian fans. Tune in. I'll put a link up. The company, the store is called The Paper and Ink Boutique. That's Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we are at Highlight Crafts for our live shopping.vip events. We will be bringing you 2 hours at 9 a.m. with the brand new vintage travel collection. We'll be back in at 1 p.m. with an hour using the musical collection. Then Saturday, Mrs. Fletcher, who wants to be an old-timey wench, I think she said, didn't she?
She
did.
An
old-timey wench? I'm sure that can be discussed on Saturday. Is going to be at the lovely Gillies Crafts in Ellesmere Port, which, if you like me, not very good at geography, it's about 15 miles outside of Liverpool. She will be there from 10 till 4, bringing loads of inspiration with the musical collection and the travel collection. And every time I talk to Mrs. Fletcher, we add a few more lines to the list. So there will be lots and lots and lots of goodies for you to be able to ask about, see, experience, and really get to pick Gwen's brains. Again, I go back to the last conversation. Gwen comes at craft from a completely different angle to what I do, and to see Gwen's take and styles with our products really excites me. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of what she's creating, and I think you're all in for a really fun day. They're a lovely team in store, and I know they're going to look after you. So if you are in the area, please do pop in, even if it's for 5 minutes, or if you want to go and stay all day, but 10 till 4, and that of course is at Gillies Crafts, which is Ellesmere Port. Then we skip forward. Monday night, we will be here for our Facebook Live, as always, at 7 p.m. on Monday. Even though it is Bank Holiday Monday, we will have a little step back in time and look at a few previous collections, answer your questions, have a little play around with a few bits. Then on Wednesday night, which will be Wednesday the 23rd, we will be celebrating Stockist Launch Day. So that's the day that everybody else, all of our other stockists, will be able to bring you the travel collection. And then that evening we will have our live, where we'll do a few more demos and bring you a bit more inspiration with that collection. So loads to sort of set your watches to over the next few days. Thank you very much for joining us. We've really enjoyed being with you this evening. Good night from me.
Good night from me. Take care. Oh, we're in hostage cam.
Little hostage cam, just to check that you're awake and
Thanks
still
for
with
watching.
us. Thank you all so much for being with us. And I've just remembered you've got the iPad, so I can't end this. We're here forever. Oh, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? I can't hit the button. Well done. What have you done to it? It's turned it off.
Oh, we could have been talking to ourselves.
What's he like? Okay, night. Thanks again for joining us. And we will see you all very, very soon at one of those events mentioned. Thank you. Night.
Night.